Okay, welcome back to a continuation. Um, this is going to be a little challenging for most people, but again, like I said in my previous video, you have to look at these things figuratively in astrology, and this is going to bring us into the Last Supper. Now, um, the Last Supper is connected to the zodiac in a way. Um, just like the zodiac circle, we have 1, 2, the sun, SON or SUN, and we have the third and the fourth. Okay, so we have 3 different groupings of the apostles here, and this represents spring, this represents summer, this represents the sun traveling through the 12 signs of the zodiac. This represents fall, and this represents winter. Now, Aries is the first, and what I've done is I've put in, I've kind of zoomed in with this picture, and if we look at Aries the ram, this kind of is very similar to the ram posture when we look at this apostle. Here we have Taurus, and Taurus, very strong, broad shoulders. Okay, and we can notice that Taurus is touching the shoulders of 2 apostles here. Gemini, we have the twins. Okay, 2 hands, 2 identical, well, they're not identical hands, they're left and right hand, but they're basically, same 2 hands. Here we have Cancer, the crustacean of the crab, and this apostle. You can look at this like, okay, he's pointing in that direction, and then the knife is pointing in this direction, and crabs use their claws for, grabbing and kind of stabbing for protection. So I thought that was interesting. Leo, I don't have a really, he's got his fist folded up, the lion, the king, he's kind of like the boss, I guess. You could interpret it that way. But I will come up with a better zodiacal reference later on. We have Jesus, which is the SON and the SUN. Okay, so he's traveling about the constellation. Here we have the upper elliptical, and down here we have the lower ecliptic path. Here we have Libra, and Libra represents the scales, and you could look at his arms outstretched, kind of like the span of the scales, and it's like a balancing act almost. Here we have Judas, and he has his finger up. His stinger is from the back. He's behind the back of the other apostle, and this represents stinging from the back. Here we have Sagittarius, and I put the archer there because it's almost like he's grabbing his chest, like he's being pierced at the heart. Here we have Capricorn, all right, and we can kind of see how the figurative constellation is kind of built in there a little bit. Here we have Aquarius, the water bearer. If you look at his hands, it almost looks like he could be holding something, pouring it out. And here we have the water bearer pouring it out, and then we have the constellation. See here, we have Pisces. Now what I've done is, Pisces is positioned like this, but I actually twisted it here, and if you kind of put this here, you can see the head, the body, and the arms and hands outstretched. So I thought that was interesting. Now, back to our ecliptic. The ecliptic represents the head, or basically the body. Aries is the head, Pisces is the foot. And here we have an old ancient reference to Aries ruling the head and the face, Taurus the neck or chest area, Gemini the arms. Okay. Now I know a Gemini, and all she would do when she would talk, she could not talk without using her hands to talk. So I thought that was interesting. Leo represents the heart, and on and on and on. You can read on your own. Let me see. I know a Virgo, nervous ball of energy, always overthinking stuff, you know, in her gut when things didn't settle right. So Virgo rules the bowels, or the gut, the stomach, and so on and so forth. But Aries starts at the head, Pisces ends at the feet, and this is why I put this body in a supine position. And you can see how the ecliptic is related to the human body. Alright, so another thing, going back to the Last Supper, here's an older picture, and this represents the Earth's movement around the sun and how the star patterns are associated with it. Here, and these are just pictures, this is research in progress, but I just thought the star patterns were just interesting here. Alright. And these aren't necessarily the proper signs, but I just want you to see the apostle and the star patterns. Two hands, head. Here we have the arms, head, arms of that apostle. Here we have Cancer, the knife in the hand. Here we have, and another thing I want you to notice, this is not a man at all. This is not a male. This is a woman. And I will go back to another slide so you could see a clearer picture. Let's see here. Let's come back in and Virgo, the Virgin here. That is a woman. So back to our star pattern. Bang. That is a woman. I'll just extend this a little, blow this out a little bit. But this is a lady. That's a woman. Male, 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 male. That's a woman. Here we go. And don't confuse this with Libra. I want you to focus more on the picture. Watch the arms outstretched for Libra. Don't worry about this. Like I said, this is just research in progress. But you can see the star patterns, how they move. Now this is actual, like, Capricorn. If we took this and we kind of tilted it a little bit, you could see how, like, maybe the bottom part will be the lower arm, shoulder arm, and then the upper arm, or the head flowing into the other arm. Again, Aquarius, the water bear, pouring out something. Here we have the hand. And again, like I said, this is research in progress. We've actually tilted this to represent the head coming down and then across. everything. So that's basically it. Leave comments. Let me know what you think about this video, and I thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.